The Lantern Beneath the Lake. Chapter 1. The Whisper Under the Water. On the edge of a quiet village called Willowmere stood a lake so still that people believed it could remember things. Not fish, not boats, not storms, but secrets. The villagers said the lake had listened for hundreds of years. Every laugh, every promise, every light, and sometimes, when the moon hung low above the water, the lake whispered back. Most children were warned never to go near the shore after sunset. But children are often curious about the things adults fear most, and no child in Willowmere was more curious than Oliver Reed. Oliver had messy brown hair and a backpack full of inventions. He also had a terrible habit of asking dangerous questions, especially to his grandmother. Why are there no birds near the north side of the lake? Why do people close their curtains during foggy nights? Why does the church bell ring by itself at midnight? His grandmother always answered the same way. Some mysteries are safer unopened, but Oliver didn't believe that. Not even a little. One cold autumn evening, rain tapped softly against the windows. Oliver discovered something hidden beneath the attic floorboards. A lantern, old, silver, covered in swirling symbols. The glass inside glowed faintly blue without any flame. The moment Oliver touched it, the entire house shook. Just once, a tiny tremble, then silence. The lantern grew warm in Oliver's hands, and from somewhere far across the dark lake, a voice whispered, "Finally, Kakko. Finally." Oliver rushed to the window in fear. The lake shimmered strangely beneath the moonlight. Then a single blue light appeared far out on the water, floating, watching, waiting, and then it vanished. That night, Oliver could not sleep, because one terrible question filled his mind. What if the lake had been waiting for someone to find the lantern? And what if that someone was him? Chapter 2. The Map with No Ending. The next morning, Oliver carried the lantern downstairs carefully. His grandmother nearly dropped her teacup when she saw it. Her face suddenly lost all color. "Where did you find that?" she whispered fearfully. "In the attic," Oliver answered. "You must put it back immediately," she said. "Why?" Oliver asked. "Because that lantern does not belong to this house," Oliver frowned. "Then whose is it?" His grandmother stared toward the lake, silently. Finally, she whispered, "It belongs to the keeper." "The keeper of what?" Oliver asked. But she did not answer. Instead, she removed an old wooden box from the cabinet. Inside was a faded ancient map. Silver symbols circled the lake like glowing vines. At the center were strange words written in silver ink. "The path appears only to the one who hears the whisper." Oliver's heart began racing with excitement. "Is this real?" he asked softly. His grandmother sighed heavily. Long ago, travelers searched for something beneath the lake. A hidden treasure, Oliver guessed. "No," she whispered. "Something far more dangerous." Thunder rolled across the hills outside. Suddenly, the lantern flickered blue again. Lines began moving slowly across the map. Glowing rivers appeared where nothing had been before. His grandmother gasped in horror. "No. The map has awakened." New words slowly formed at the bottom of the page. The gate will open in 3 nights. Oliver looked up nervously. What gate? He whispered. But his grandmother already knew the answer, and for the first time in years, she looked truly afraid. Chapter 3. The Boy in the Fog. That evening, thick fog rolled across Willowmere. The villagers hurried indoors and locked their doors. Even the dogs stopped barking. Oliver sat beside his bedroom window, watching the lake. The lantern glowed softly beside him. Then, suddenly, tap, 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 something touched the window glass. Oliver jumped in surprise. Outside stood a pale boy, surrounded by fog. Water dripped from his dark coat, and his eyes glowed silver in the darkness. Oliver slowly opened the window. "Who are you?" he asked carefully. The strange boy tilted his head. "You found the lantern?" he said quietly. "How do you know?" Oliver asked nervously. "Because it called me." The boy looked toward the lake. "We do not have much time. What's your name?" Oliver asked. "Elias." The boy answered softly. "You live in the village?" Elias looked strangely confused. "No," he answered. "Then where do you live?" The fog thickened around him. "Below," Elias whispered. A freezing wind rushed into the room. Oliver shivered. "The keeper is waking," Elias warned. "My grandmother mentioned the keeper," Oliver said. "What is it?" Elias looked frightened. "The keeper guards the door beneath the lake." "And what's behind the door?" Oliver whispered. Elias stared directly into his eyes. "All the lost things." The lantern suddenly flashed bright blue. For a moment, Oliver saw giant shadows moving beneath the lake. Huge shapes drifted silently below the water. Then darkness returned again. Elias slowly stepped backward into the fog. "You must come tomorrow night," he warned, "to the North Shore." "Wait," Oliver shouted. But Elias vanished completely into the fog. Only wet footprints remained beneath the window, and slowly, they filled with lake water. Chapter 4. The Hidden Shore. The next night, Oliver snuck quietly from the house. The lantern glowed beneath his coat. Fog drifted silently through the sleeping village. The farther Oliver walked, the quieter the world became. No owls, no crickets, no wind. Only silence. Then he saw Elias waiting beside the reeds. "You came," Elias said softly. "What is this place?" Oliver whispered. Elias pointed toward the dark lake. The water suddenly shimmered silver. Then, a hidden stone path rose from beneath the surface. Thin silver stones stretched across the lake that wasn't there before. Oliver whispered. "It only appears when the lantern wakes," Elias answered. "The first gate is opening." Oliver stared across the dark water nervously. "What happens if we go?" Elias hesitated before answering. "We may not come back the same." That warning should have frightened Oliver away. But curiosity can be stronger than fear. Together they stepped onto the hidden path. Blue light glowed softly beneath the water. Whispers echoed below them. "Not angry," whispered sad ones. Lost voices calling forgotten names. Then, suddenly, splash! something enormous moved beneath the stones. Oliver froze in terror. A giant eye slowly opened beneath the water, watching them. Elias grabbed Oliver's arm tightly. "Do not look down," he warned. But it was already too late. The eye blinked slowly beneath the lake, and far below them, something ancient began to rise. Chapter 5. The Keeper Awakens. The lake exploded upward around the stone path. Water crashed through the darkness violently. Oliver stumbled backward in fear. A gigantic figure rose from beneath the lake. Not a monster. Not exactly. It looked almost human, but impossibly tall and covered in shadows. Its face hid behind a cracked silver mask. Blue fire burned inside the cracks. The keeper had awakened. The lantern glowed fiercely in Oliver's hands. Then the keeper spoke, without moving its mouth. "Who carries the light?" Its voice echoed directly inside their minds. Oliver tried to answer, but no sound came out. Elias stepped forward shakily. "He found it," Elias whispered. The keeper slowly turned toward Oliver. The entire lake suddenly became silent. Even the fog stopped moving. Then the keeper whispered softly, "The last key has returned." The silver map floated into the air by itself. Glowing symbols spun across the paper. A new path appeared beneath the lake, leading downward into the darkness. "There's something under there," Oliver gasped. The keeper raised one long shadowed arm. "The door must open." "No," Elias shouted suddenly. "You promised the door would stay closed." The keeper turned toward him slowly. Blue fire flickered behind the silver mask. Oliver looked between them in confusion. "What's happening?" he asked fearfully. Elias looked terrified. "Because if the door opens completely, the Forgotten King will escape." Thunder cracked across the dark sky above the lake, and deep beneath the water. Samushingu Rogetto. Chapter 6. The kingdom beneath the water. The hidden stone path suddenly began sinking into the lake. Slowly, steadily, downward into darkness. "We're going underwater!" Oliver cried. "You must trust the lantern," Elias answered. Blue lights expanded around them, like a glowing bubble. Water surrounded them on every side, yet somehow, they could still breathe. Silverfish swam silently past their faces. Ancient statues rested across the lake floor. Broken towers and ruined bridges appeared in the darkness. An entire forgotten kingdom slept beneath the water. "This place is real," Oliver whispered. Elias nodded sadly. "It used to be called Eloria." "What happened to it?" Oliver asked quietly. "The king feared losing his power," Elias answered. Ghostly figures wandered silently through the ruined streets. Not alive, not dead, just waiting. Then Oliver saw enormous golden doors beneath the mountain. Thousands of chains wrapped tightly around them, and behind the doors, Samushingu Mubudo. The keeper stopped before the giant gate. "The time has come," it declared. The chains began rattling violently. A deep voice echoed from behind the doors. "Letto me out." The water around them suddenly grew freezing cold. "He's stronger than before," Elias whispered fearfully. Cracks spread across the enormous golden doors. Blue light leaked through the openings. The keeper slowly raised both arms. The final key. Suddenly, the lantern flew from Oliver's hands. "No?" Oliver shouted desperately. but the lantern floated directly toward the gate. It slid perfectly into an empty space in the doors. The chains snapped apart one by one, and deep below them, 1,000 glowing eyes suddenly opened. Chapter 7. The Forgotten King. The enormous doors burst open violently. Dark water exploded outward through the ruins. Oliver and Elias were thrown backward. A tall figure slowly emerged from the darkness. Elegant, calm, terrifying. The Forgotten King wore armor made from black crystal. A twisted silver crown rested upon his head, but the most frightening thing about him was his smile. Warm, gentle, almost kind. After all these centuries, he whispered softly, someone finally returned the light. The keeper immediately knelt before him. Elias looked horrified. Oliver could not move at all. The king's eyes glowed like frozen blue stars. You are brave, child, he told Oliver. Who are you really? Oliver asked shakily. The king bowed slightly. Once, I ruled this kingdom. What happened to your people? Oliver asked. They betrayed me, the king answered coldly. Ghostly citizens lowered their heads sadly. I tried to protect them from fear and death. How? Oliver asked carefully. By stopping the world from changing. Suddenly, Oliver understood the terrible truth. You trapped everyone here forever, he whispered. I saved them, the king replied sharply. No, Elias said quietly. You imprisoned them. The king's smile slowly disappeared. They feared eternity because they were weak. Blue energy spread through the underwater kingdom, but soon the surface world will remember us. Far above them, the lake began rising toward the village. Storm clouds twisted violently across the sky. The world above is about to drown. The king smiled. Chapter 8. The Clock Tower's Secret. There must be a way to stop him, Oliver cried. There is, Elias answered quickly. The keeper slowly lifted its silver mask, the heart clock. For the first time, fear appeared in the king's eyes. You dare speak of it? The Forgotten King growled. Oliver looked between them in confusion. What is the heart clock? He asked. Elias grabbed Oliver's arm urgently. Long ago, the people built a magical clock. It kept balance between memory and time. Where is it? Oliver asked quickly. The keeper slowly pointed upward, inside the old clock tower. Oliver gasped in surprise. The tower, in the village. Elias nodded seriously. It was built directly above Eloria. The Forgotten King suddenly roared with fury. You will not reach it. Dark shadow creatures burst from the ruined streets. Their glowing eyes burned through the water. Run! Elias shouted desperately. Oliver grabbed the lantern tightly. Together they raced through the underwater ruins. The shadow creatures chased closely behind them. One creature lunged directly toward Oliver. Snap! The lantern flashed with blinding blue light. The creature dissolved instantly into mist. They burst upward through the lake surface. Rain poured violently across the village. Church bells rang wildly in the darkness. People screamed as floodwater filled the streets. The tower, Elias shouted over the storm. Lightning flashed across the sky above Willowmere, far above the clouds. A giant shadow formed. The Forgotten King was rising from the lake, and he was coming for them. Chapter 9. The Tower of Time. The clock tower door slammed shut behind them. Inside smelled of dust and ancient wood. Tick. Hundreds of clocks covered the walls. Some moved forward, some backward. Some did not move at all. How do we find the heart clock? Oliver asked. Elias pointed toward the top of the tower. It's hidden above the bell chamber. Suddenly, the tower shook violently. The Forgotten King's voice thundered outside. You cannot stop what time has chosen. Windows shattered across the lower floor. Floodwater burst into the staircase below. Hurry! Hurry! Elias shouted. They raced upward through the tower. Each floor became stranger than the last. Candles burned without melting. A feather floated motionless in the air. Teacups hung frozen in mid. Reality itself seemed broken inside the tower. Then Oliver noticed portraits hanging on the walls. The same boy appeared again and again. Elias, but dressed in clothing from different centuries. Oliver stopped in shock. How old are you? He whispered. Elias became silent for a long moment. Finally he whispered softly, I don't know anymore. Suddenly, crash! The tower wall exploded inward violently. Dark water flooded the staircase below them. The Forgotten King stepped inside the tower, towering, calm, smiling. You cannot outrun eternity, he whispered. Every clock in the tower suddenly stopped ticking. Silence filled the air. Step, step, step. The king slowly climbed toward them. Oliver's hands trembled around the lantern, because there was nowhere left to run. Chapter 10. Elias's Truth. They finally reached the top chamber of the tower. At the center stood an enormous golden clock. Floating gears turned silently in the air. Stars shimmered inside the glass clock face. But the heart clock had stopped long ago. Elias stared at it sadly. The heart clock, he whispered.